Look at that subtle off-grey colouring. The tasteful thickness of it. Oh my god. It even has sand dunes. Welcome back to Jakku here. We've got Parappa versus Soup. Parappa in the red with the Wookiees. Soup in the green with the Imperial remnants. And in terms of the food, a dew, a massive, some frogs, some bantha. Typical stuff. Seems a little bit lower roll than some of them. Oh wait, there's a second massive. That's pretty bang average, isn't it? Just less nerfs. And they're being nerfs, we know exactly what to expect in general. Though with Parappa, he does tend to just try and wall the Mounties out and get to the rest of the game from that point. A little bit of a wider wall here than some of the ones that we've seen. But nonetheless, still a lot of clusters for him to play around with and put light walls between and stuff, and I'm sure he'll manage to get the job done since he does tend to peel like a quarter of his workforce off to get his walls. And Soup with a bit of a tree in the way of his workers here, and you back a little bit far away. We've got the supervisor there, keeping an eye on things. Not keen to get his hands dirty, or his instruments dirty, I don't know, he's a little droid. His extracting arm. And prefab shelter that's doing some sort of walling here, potentially, using that food stockpile. And nice little sort of carbon pocket over here for Parappa. Like going into the sort of mid T2, T3 area. Right up against the wall. A lot of areas to wall around it. Zone out any strike mechs. And Scout pulling the Duke back here. I'm going to speed up just to get through T1. Because I've seen enough of these T1s. It's too much T1s for one man this week. Too many. And Carbon down. Nova, nicely. Very nice Nova, to be honest. Safe. Sort of helps wall things out a little bit. This is a nice little area to close off. You got both the ores here. All in all, a pretty good spawn for Soup here. Like his Novas are all safe, his ores safe. The only thing that's really up for grabs is his food stockpile, and should really get that taken out of the equation very early in the game. Pushing the massive here with the Scout. Should see the same here for Parappa. Wait, is there a lot more nerfs than I saw? He's up to 10. What? Oh, there is 10. Where were they? Forget what I said about there being low nerf. Oh my god. They're everywhere. An epidemic. And do we see any troop centers? It's kind of like about that time if you're playing like bog standard, you know, not even like rushing, but just naturally the game pushing you that way. Time to drop one, but not seeing such. Food processor instead here. And Parappa seems a little bit later, and he does have a troop center. Not building anything out of it though, and I think it's more like a depend, like he just expects to be mounted because he's putting a lot of resources into light wall already. He was kind of late getting his carbon, I think, as well. So almost like he's playing in anticipation of being mounted, like he's adapting his build. It's a very sort of conservative one where he's just drawing a line from there to the command center. I'm assuming he's maybe going to close this out. Close out the top of here, maybe? Don't know, I think he probably could have just closed this and closed that, I don't know. Seems about the same. Get a lot more land doing that. Some nice Novas for him as well, to be honest, right up against the edge here. Tucked away. I think it sucks is all these Gorgs. I suppose both players' Gorgs are a bit inaccessible in that regard, at the front. And we still don't have any mounting queued up. How about Soup? Soup's almost T2. Building trooper recruits, but no power core. I think he's maybe got too many workers on food here. Maybe needed to pull a couple more off. He's ended up with quite a lot of food still as a surplus. Can afford power core, but not quite got it yet. Managed to get one trooper recruit out. Just gonna start researching trooper. Parappa will be feeling the pressure there a little bit. Just with the tech time, see he's only halfway there to T2. Dropping second troop center though in power core, and once he gets away with that, he should be pretty good to go to just pump out a lot of troopers with his economy. Got a good split between the carbon and the food. Should be a solid income to fulfill the production out of both of these. Getting his walling down as well shouldn't really be too much issues for him. It's going to take a while for Soup to really just get any units across at all. So they do end up quite even really in this regard. If Soup had found a way to maybe just give himself a bit more carbon while getting up to T2, he maybe could have been about here by now with a couple of troopers with range and stuff, which would be killing these two, and then he could apply a little bit of pressure, maybe force some walling. But all in all, I don't think he'd really get the kill off here with the walling. And the scout going down there to the troopers for Parappa. We got those 2 troopers, but they're probably about 3 or 4 minutes late. Oh, there's a third. Still no range though, range for Parappa here. And this is just kind of bad to throw these away, because if you do, you're just going to invite the counter-attack from Parappa, and you're by default down like 3 troopers. Parappa getting up to about 7 there, sending them out on patrol. Going to clash with these 3. They do have range now, but they do not want to take that trade on. And the patrol trying to chase them down here. Lucky to not lose any. Those 3 quite low in health. Going to try and use the elevation here. Parappa having none of that. And Soup needs to just keep his forces marshalled together. He's going for the trade again, but he's kind of outnumbered here. There's a nice little bit of a flank around the side though. And Parappa pulling back. That 4. 4 for 6, so big trade for Parappa really. Soup kind of needs this, I suppose, because his base is just not closed off in the same manner that Parappa's is. Which he's slowly working on. But him being out in the map and keeping Parappa out in the middle of the map is very beneficial for him. Parappa's still somehow managing to sneak past him though. This guy is going to see what's up. And Soup going to immediately come back and try and chase this down because he doesn't want him getting into his base. Parappa making a beeline for the food stockpile. Losing my voice. And the reinforcement's going to start the trade, but then the troops coming here are going to flank as well. But unfortunately, Parappa kind of wins some basic military theory there, just crushing one of the flanks quickly. Did miss micro a little bit there in the end. They could have traded, I think, for another 2 troopers, which is, honestly, that would be a very good outcome when you get flanked like that. Maybe Soup needed to stall a little bit on this group here, pull them back a little bit, and wait for these guys to get in a better position. So that maybe half of the group of Parappa's soldiers are like firing backwards, and then that way the DPS is just not going to be the same. It would end up a very dramatic trade. And the farm's starting to go down, but a lot more for Parappa here, and I could see him taking the lead in terms of getting to T3 just because of that. Soup did find this massive here. Very long distance journey here for these hunters. Is this their 2nd trip as well? Not the most efficient, but I suppose it's nice to get it anyway, because it's no carbon. And Soup pressing at the front here, but Parappa's closed everything off where the pathways are just through the command center, so you can garrison for extra fire beams and stuff. An attempt at a turret here, which is, if you can keep this turret alive, it might be okay. It doesn't really harass the carbon as much, but it might like zone things out. If Soup could like control that position for the rest of the game, it would be nice. I wouldn't mind if he just put a turret at the front, like here, with his troops. If he had like a lead. If Parappa throws some of these away, maybe. That way you can sort of just keep your opponent boxed in, right? And always just fall back to that position, and then play off of that going into T3. But they're going to take the trade here, and Parappa is kind of just winning that. Just had a better patrol there. Maybe some of this terrain was getting in the way. And some of those forces were a little bit out of position as well. And Soup's kind of just going to get pushed back again. And again, he's always rallying to this point where Parappa's just sneaking past him. The whole ships passing in the night thing. And this could be quite devastating though, if Parappa walks over to here and just kills all these workers. I mean, he doesn't really have much fear of a counterattack. He can just close things out with like 2 to 3 prefab shelters in the worst case scenario. And here he goes, waltzing right up to the workers here, gets 2 of them. It was a quick pull off from Soup there, did see it coming, so didn't lose more than 2. But now getting spawn killed. Like, there's a lot of troopers just dying for free. 5, 6. Parappa can sneak around now and he's going to force turrets. Might even get more workers at the carbon. And all in all, I imagine that he's on his way to T3 as well. Yeah, halfway there. It's because he's gotten all those farms down. Whereas Soup is he's struggling a bit here. Just not got the same sort of food income. He did have to pull all those workers off. Maybe had too many on food stockpile too. Maybe needed a few more farmers. He's got to remember that this is a lot slower than farming in terms of the gather rate. And Soup is going to clean this up. Well, not quite. These guys still idle. It's kind of just a catastrophe here. And look at the workers are all bugging out as well. There's just not enough spots in the carbon for them. They needed a new carbon processor down here. And T3 now for Parappa. It's probably a good move to get this walled off. Putting the light wall down. Because he needs to stall for a couple of minutes. I think he needs to just slam down some more farms and stuff and get some more infrastructure around, some buildings and stuff to zone things out. Get some anti-air troopers built up. Some strike mechs on the way. Double air base for Parappa as well. So there's 2 strikes just out the 1 mech factory. And Soup needs to be a little bit more proactive, I think, in his defences here, or he's going to get overwhelmed. He does close things off at the expense of this worker. Oh, not quite. There's a little gap there. That is tricky. It would be nice if this was just fully walled and then he could focus on the anti-air troopers and not have to worry about these strike mechs coming in who could, you know, 2-tap them all. It might even be 3 shots now with the changes that they made, I'm not sure. Still die quite quickly at strikes though. And then you got fighters and you got strike mechs, and this is just really hard to deal with, and Soup just going to call GG there because it's gotten out of control. He's not even on the way to T3 yet. He's going to pack it in and go to the next game. And second game, Parappa in the purple with the Imperial Remnant, whereas Soup in the green with the New Republic. Minox this time. Oh, and Gorgs. Minox, Gorgs, and Aeopes. It's a trifecta of small hunt. It's massive. Tuscat. And 4 nerf. And time for a local man to remember his coffee. Pour it out. I don't think I've seen anyone with the old First Order yet, have I? Is it banned? I haven't seen any Flame Troopers. Flame Troopers being OP. Cheeky OP to get things started there, same for Parappa. Make sure that they keep that command center going. Just need to do a little bit of food dropping with the garrison. And then get onto that massive there. Try and block it a little bit, yeah. It always tries to run away if you can't one-shot it. And quite a close spawn as well here. It's already quite close distances with the center of Jakku, but they sort of spawn very close to one another as well. Which is kind of interesting if the game goes longer. In terms of like objective control and, you know, like the Novas and Ors, because they're sort of sharing a lot of the same resources in this sort of area. This central pocket. And then they can both sort of extend out to the rest of the map, right? And Carbon going down for Parappa here. Already up for Soup. Not quite managed to lure all of his Aeopes here, quite long distance. Really struggling with this massive, doesn't want to listen to him. Another 340 foot. delivery to the door. It'd be interesting to maybe lean into this area, the base building. Suppose you can close up like here, maybe later on. T2. This seems like a nice area for command centers and stuff. You'd maybe worry about forwards and things like this. This is such an interesting spawn, really, when I think about it. I think there's a lot of merit to like early artillery pushing in T3. Like rally heavy weapons and stuff when you're this close to one another. And they're very quick to outscale most of the ground units in T3. Providing you just got enough to kill any mounty switches. They trade really well against the strikes and the mech destroyers. And as soon as you get a substantial number of them, it's absolute misery. Unless you've got your own artillery. Gotta fight fire with fire, really. And troop center down for Soup. Almost finished here for Parappa. Parappa got slightly wider areas here. Those scrap pile ores look quite cool, don't they? Did a good job at that. Ore asset. This Mountie already finished here. Power course just snuck past me now. And in he goes. Looking to put the pressure on here. While Parappa's trying to lure his Minox. He's got to deal with these Mounties sneaking around, heading over to his carbon. He's kind of lucky in a sense that his carbon's quite close to the CC. So if he does need to pull workers away, it doesn't take too long, and it doesn't take too long for the command center to start chiming in with some of its green laser beams. Trying to do some sort of quick walling there, but absolutely not enough time there. 3 Mounties now and a scout. And does some walling here. Those light walls, those OP light walls. Maybe get these guys back to work a little bit and just fund some defences here. Getting up to T2. Trying to keep the workers alive. Got a trooper recruit, but probably should have just hung on to that until he's got about 3 of them or so. Because he just gets sniped there. Does manage to get a Mountie, but again, the workers are not really on carbon. There's still a gap here at the top. And they're just going to have to pull. So this is pretty much a lot of chaos here for Parappa. He is at the very least halfway to T2 though. So if he can maybe just get out some more trooper recruits, get them up to trooper status as soon as he hits T2 and absolutely make a beeline for Soup's base, he could get some good damage his way. Because Soup on the other hand is not quite T2 yet, not at all. It looks like he's been a little bit slow as well to pull workers off and build off his farms here. Not quite nailing the transition, which is going to cost him quite a little bit of time here getting up to tech level 2. So he needs to watch out for Parappa doing that counter-attack and be as annoying as possible with his Mounties and keep Parappa in his base. That way he can get the food he needs, get up to T2, and then he won't have to worry about too much and they'll be sort of on a level playing field as it were. But maybe he's going to have a bit of an economic lead because of all this harassment. And what that can maybe translate into is more than likely just a quicker T3. Especially with Parappa's nature to wall, maybe not that overwhelming sort of T2 rushing force. You can see a lot of walls getting placed down for Soup as well, and I think he's more inclined to lean into going for the T3 rather than the overwhelming T2 rushing. I think maybe if you wanted to do the T2 rushing thing, maybe you can justify like 3 TC or something like that and go for that as a follow-up. Because your opponent's a little bit rattled and not really in the same circumstance they should be. If you get those troopers out quickly, maybe they go for a counter-attack as well, and then you can slap that down instantly and then just hit them on the counter and overwhelm them that way. You can see this is not how Parappa likes things. He's walling with just prefab shelters here for the most part. And he's not fully walled by now. But we got 2 troopers out. Did go for double troop center here for Soup. Is getting his techs. These guys trying to sneak around to find an angle here. And I would say Soup's actually incredibly open from the right hand side. A lot of workers here that can be snatched up. And Soup's eco is it's a little bit out of sorts here, I would say. Does Parappa not know where he is? No, he doesn't. That's a problem. He's off on a absolute voyage here. Looks like some Spanish explorers just landed in the Americas. He doesn't know where to go. Absolutely wandering. Completely wrong direction. That's going to give Soup a lot of time. As I was saying though, Soup is, he didn't have a long carbon, right? He's just pulled these guys off of the food that was here. And this is not a very good like split. Needed some more carbon processors really. And then he had a lot over here munching on these as well. It's very like focused about going to T3, and he dropped the double troop center, but he's not really made many troopers at all. He could have made as many as he has off of one. And maybe he could just have his 2 buildings by now and sort of be a way to click the button, I would say. If he just cut that troop center. Parappa has a lot of troopers, but again, he doesn't know where his opponent is. He knows he's not on this side anyway, so by process of elimination he should know where to go as he sends these guys out. And Soup applying pressure here. Finding this wall of Parappas. Did he lose his Mounties? I thought he had 2 Mounties just chilling. Maybe he did. I can't see them anymore. Unless I'm imagining. I thought there were 2 like here. Oh, there they are. Looks like they ran in. They actually would have been more helpful just killing the wall here. That could have been a crazy play for him if he just killed this light wall with the Mounties and ran in. But now he's got Parappa on his side of things, and he was trying to get up to T3, right? He's not clicked the button yet, but there's a lot of time that he's not been building any troopers here, and now he has to rapidly pump them out here, and his workers are absolutely threatened. He's trying to do some bit of walling here. He needs to go like that. Just to close this area off, and he needs to stop taking trades with just a few troopers at a time and build them up, so he's got a substantial force. He needs to at least have half of this to take the trade, and then it'll definitely lower the DPS regardless of what happens to his own troopers. He could probably just close this up and just run these guys over somewhere. Place a carbon processor over here or something. He's halfway to T3 at the very least. We do have a mech factory. Parappa should probably be a bit more diligent with his troopers. He's got a real opportunity here to get damage, and he's not really taking advantage of it in the way that he should. And his economy is a bit out of whack. He's really not had a good game this time. I think everything that Soup did earlier has just sort of messed him up. Because look how much carbon, up to 700 carbon there. And just throwing down like 1,000,000 farms, pulling workers off of carbon. And Soup's got all the time in the world. He's just building a gate. He's pretty much had an architect drop the plans, gone for planning permission, and now the builders have built it during all the time that these guys have been sitting here shooting at the prefab shelter. They do now finally get through. And Soup does have a strike mech out to come and fight these guys, but he could run through and kill a lot of workers, and Soup probably should have just delayed this a bit more with a couple of prefabs. Kind of silly to let him in and just let him get all these worker kills. For troops that were already doomed. That's a lot. For like 7, 8, maybe 9, 10. Parappa's just stutter stepping, killing many. There's so many workers to go down. And now we're 43 workers to 22 is just such a silly move. And all he had to do was just place like 2 prefabs and not even finish them. And I think the Soup would have been in a really commanding position here if he didn't lose all those workers, because that's so much income lost. These guys aren't even working right now, they have to go build a command center. And now he can't really afford to make any more strike mechs, he can barely afford to get some fighters out, and whatever pressure he would have had here is just really lessened. Neighbour's dog going a bit mad. Hopefully it doesn't come through the mic. So the strike mech's not really getting any pressure on. Walls are down. Is there fighters? I can't really see. And I think when Parappa hits T3 he's just going to be in such a good spot economically to pump out whatever unit composition he wants and hit Soup pretty hard with it. Strike's leaning round, looking for an angle. What is that attack noise? It's a TIE fighter noise, it's awful. That just doesn't compute right in my brain as a vanilla GBG player. They're coming in here looking for damage, but even the troopers, you know, got some good DPS on them here. There was a bit of a gap though, did make it through. And so we're gonna try and take advantage of this as much as possible, get some damage in here. Make Parappa panic a bit. This is good for Soup because it buys him more time. Now Parappa kind of just got to focus on responding to this right now rather than just as soon as he hits T3 just rallying things towards Soup. Putting him on the defensive. He has to sit on top of that turret there, but a Might Destroyer will clear this up pretty quickly. It's about 4 more hits and it's all over, I think. Bam. Down they go. A check on how Soup's. Parappa's not really gone up in workers at all since we last checked, so let's say 40 workers for Soup now. So he's caught up with that double command center, and then you've got to count in the research time for T3 as well, and then whatever kills you got here. So not lost. It's kind of even now, but maybe a little bit more resources in the hands of Parappa. We can have a quick look. Yeah, quite a bit. It's about almost 2,000 resource lead. So it's going to take a while for Soup to have his workers pay off a bit. See what Parappa does with it. Not an air civ, he is Imperial Remnant. Sort of mech. Like Sith Master kind of civ. A bit of artillery leaning maybe. They have that strong unit in the fortress as well. The Shadow Trooper. New Republic on the other hand, air civ. So there's certainly that to play for Soup, but he's only really harassing with just one fighter. I think he's maybe just keeping an eye on things. You can see that Parappa did make his own air base to just make a couple of fighters to deal with these, chase them away. Oh, he's got a second one as well. Research center down already. A lot of workers queued up. Soup really should have gotten a 3rd CC by now. And these fighters are coming out. Looking to be annoying. I do see 2 fighters to defend with here in Soup's hands. Just a little bit isolated from one now. They could potentially bug out at that distance. Does get 2 workers here. Doesn't lose anything. Is he going to get a 3rd? It gets a 3rd worker there. And then he takes the trade. He wins the trade as well, and he's going to get more workers. That's a disaster here. Like that is a lot of worker kills for the 3 fighters that he's trading away there. On the other hand though, Soup did sneak up here with some Might Destroyers and he's killed like 2 of his. Just having a strike mechs tank all the shots here. I don't know why he's letting him get any free shots on him. He needs to take this trade. Run this one to the side. Just got to lean lazily to the left like NASCAR and you should win that trade. Probably going to repair his Might Destroyers here, but I don't know if this is really in Soup's like best interest for that civ. I think he would have been better to just get tons more farms and just get up to T4. Either way, and then he could go Masters or Air and just sort of keep control of the game that way. And make Parappa just throw a lot of his lead into just being a turtle. Putting static defense down and stuff. Because if you look at that core of farms that Parappa's got built up here, he's got quite a substantial eco to pump out the workers he needs to go off to the carbon and then set up his infrastructure and get whatever he wants. You can see we've got a Jedi popping out here. Sith Apprentice. Go off and grab the holocrons. Quite a few for grabs. Another trade in the centre here, but Soup definitely going to win that. Got a lot more Mech Stars here. Does let Parappa come and snipe a fighter for free. Parappa is double airbase. Double airbase now for Soup. So it should keep the numbers comparable. And I don't know, his eco still just doesn't strike me as very strong. Are we missing things? Missing T2 carbon, or T3 carbon, and T3 genetics. That was only 3 nerfs, so I'm not too worried about that. I don't quite have this one, but so I'm just getting a second motivator as well. He's going to be tearing ahead in his eco now. In terms of the worker count, 86 to 74, so Parappa in the lead. Parappa's still economically quite in the lead here. Flanking in there, hitting some of the ground units though. Not the worst trade. This fortress that he's trying to go for here, some early grenade troopers. Oh, get some nice shot. Oh, oh. Some lovely grenade shots there. Get me excited. And I'm gonna get that fortress up, no problems from now on, I think. That way I can close out this part of the base. But surprised not seen much. This is the real area. This is just nothingness, you know. This is a dead Star Destroyer. That subtle off-grey colouring, the tasteful thickness of it. But yeah, needs to be coming over to this side and fighting over this ore. And it's such a nice entry point into either of their bases, and you can't really be flanked from this position because you've got the edge of the map. So pushing from here is super beneficial, really, because once you're set up, you've even got like the cluster in the way as well. Like, you can only really be hit from the front, which is what you would want. It limits a lot of unit compositions and strategies. If he's searching for holocrons here or something, using all of his air rather than just one. Lucky he's not being air raided. Does find a holo though. Rewarded. Soup halfway to T4. Parappa just sort of starting T4 here. I genuinely can't remember what game I'm on, if this is game 2 or 3. So I'll need to check at the end, to be honest, because I don't know. I don't really want to look right now though, because it sort of spoils it in a sense. You might see the game time. It's easy to forget about that if you see it at the start of the recording, but if you see it like at this point and you saw it was like 49 minutes or something, you'd be like, oh, what happened? Game seems pretty like it's going nowhere anyway. Like, how did someone lose? So we do see Soup get into this position. It's like he heard me through the echoes of time talking about this area, and now he's on it. Temporal coaching, I don't know. Dimensional coaching. And Parappa's set up here to defend, but he's going to feel pretty blindsided by this. Deleting a lot of buildings, just slam down a fortress here, and If Soup's clever, he could pop out a cannon here and just start, yeah, he could just start hitting this really early on. Question is there nice, maybe if he goes over to the left hand side, if he like rolls around here, and then starts hitting this fortress from here, because then he can rely on his fortress to zone out a lot of these units. He's got that little ion cannon ability as well, which is quite good here, because it's going to slow at least one of the units getting into position. Doesn't want to go, if he goes like here though, it's just doomed, right, because it's just so easy to shoot the cannon. Ah, he's going to do it as well, isn't he? Ah, that's sad. And that's a good spot as well. That's a super good spot for Parappa. Unfortunately for Soup, in the shield generator as well, with a cluster in front. Trying to get. I think this fortress is just doomed. To be honest, it's too good of a spot. He's not got his air quite set up as he would like. He's got fast fighter and shield. Could maybe try and trade for it, but might want to wait for the advanced fighter. Yeah, he's feeling pressure to go for it. He sees he's going to lose it. But I don't really want him to lose all his air here to these fighters of Parappa. Disaster. Disaster. And he's going to end up just losing the fortress anyway. Kind of needed that air to go and snipe these cannons. And now it's just 4 cannons out, and there's just not going to be enough of air here for Soup to deal with that. I think with New Republic as well, he probably should just have like 1 or 2 masters with concentration, because they get such a bonus in terms of research time for those things. They get, you know, Nova cost off of it as well, and they just be super helpful. Like, you just convert the cannons, that's it. You don't need to over-invest into it or anything. You don't need to like make 1,000,000 Jedi and have them stolen away by your opponent who can convert them or something like that. You just need to kill off these cannons and buy yourself time to get the things you need for that Civ setup. Got a few MDs that could probably walk forward, but I do wonder who's actually better on the ground here. You do have that like shot that goes through, the piercing shot for the Imperial Remnants, but I think you got double health for the MDs of New Republic, so I can't remember, did they get anything taken away? No, just Stimpak. They got full like mech upgrades. Pretty potent. Some Shadow Troopers coming in here, quite a good unit. Although, some good plus damage here. It's actually shredding him down here. Not quite really got the armor to deal with that. It'd be annoying though if there's like, if the MDs come at the same time and these things meet shield. Then you could get some good damage onto them. He's pushing him away and he can pull his cannons forward and stuff. Still got 3 cannons in reserve. He's struggling with these two. Why don't they run round in a circle? Why are they like running away to the edge of the map and dragging all his forces away from his forward? He's just going to lose it. Bamboozled by 2 shadow boys. A lot of workers dying, and this is like RVA or something when he sees there's an overpatch. Just pulled all of his workers like he's away to build a monument. There's so many dying. No, kill more. I got used to the noise. It's like ASMR, a droid dying noise. Quite a sizable force here for Parappa pushing through now. He's even got the 12 range in his A-mobiles, just one away. One away from max, needs to get that one in the research center. And those cannons, gonna tear through all these buildings. Purple laser beams are out. There's Imperial Remnant MDs, they've got that sort of military drone thing. Like a robo machine gunner. He uses in that Gerard Butler movie. When he attacks that funeral. Cannons coming forward. Another fortress for them to kill off. This way, I mean, you can just lean out to the right hand side. Certainly opens up harassment from this angle, which is, I think, something that both players should really be adopting during all this. It's just rallying a few mechs either side to their economies. And applying pressure that way, killing off workers. And then forcing like mech destroyers to get rallied over there and stuff. That way you've got something to play for regardless of what happens on this side. The fort goes down. He's lost a turret, 2 forts, a shield generator. It's not feeling good. God, those guys ate that ore fast, didn't they? But at what cost? The purple player just trying to assimilate everything that's purple. The purple blob. And more workers going down. He's not actually that well set up for air raids. Soup could really lean in more to that. Especially on this right hand side. It'd be pretty devastating for Parappa. If Soup would just stop flying over all of his anti-air that's in this quadrant of the map, he'd get a lot more worker kills. Building up the Mounties here. Mounties are going to struggle with the purple laser beam and then all these strike mechs though. And these are just mounted troopers. There's nothing really behind them, and you can watch their health as the volleys hit through. See with each one, like the one behind's getting to like half health as well. So it's not great. I think Soup's done pretty well this game, like bounced back, but he's made a lot of big mistakes, I think. That really cost him. The attacker's going to do really well here, until the A maybe will decide to shoot at them. Again, I kind of like them to see him just stall here, you know. The walls are a good idea, but like more walls, you know. And just move himself up a bit around here and then start raiding this side with his air. He could get so many kills here and really put the hurt on Parappa's eco, and he could just make it that this is all his army, you know. This is all he can really afford just now. And then if he could just find a way to knock it down by attrition, he could maybe, you know, pull a win out of thin air. But he's feeling forced again to trade for some reason here. Which I think he should have just built up more stuff. Trying to come in and snipe some cannons, but he's just losing all of his attackers for it, and the expensive units that he's not really going to be able to replace. And to be honest, I think he might be done there. Like, this is the great idea, it's just you need to stall with this and keep those units alive. And I mean, over time you could eventually get maybe a lot of attackers that could just wipe this army and, you know, disregard the AA-mobiles. Because nobody wants to make like 1,000 AA-mobiles, unless they really, really need to. You know, that's kind of the amount that he's got, is kind of the amount that people stop at. Because you just would, because it's like, it doesn't really do much for you. It's enough of a deterrence, but if you got like 40 attackers together and then went at this, you'd smash it all. And I think that's the only thing that Souk really could have played for there, the way they sell. He'd unfortunately have to move all these air bases, and it's tricky rebuilding your eco when you're being pressured like that. So you've still got 5 over here. Could still build a few more as well. Just would have been better to get a higher amount before going for that trade. Many buildings die. And GG called there, and I don't know what game this was, so I need to check. Oh no. Why is this reset? Is it because the game had finished? Was that game 3 then? Yeah. Well, it was game 2. Oh, I got game 3. Just don't know anymore. It's too much Jakku in my life. So Zan Consortium for Parappa in the yellow, and then Soup here in the green. With the Geonosians. Many nerf. It's quite big actually, amount of nerf here. Yeah, this is like 13 or so or something. 3, 6, 9, 10, 13. And a massive for dinner. Parappa tucking into a cheeky bantha here. Just keep the command center going. Soup on the other hand doesn't need to do that, you can just food drop the massives. Getting the second massive nice and early as well. That's going to be really, this is shaping up to be quite a strong mounty game for him. Because if you think about it, he's on the Geos. What do Geos have? Basic training for free. So that means no guilt, just spam mounty in T1 with your Nova. But this massive is just not listening to his rules. And oh, I've just noticed he's not actually found his Banthas. Hold on. This is a catastrophe, buddy. What is this? Because you're doing this too early. Oh dear, you're going to be kicking yourself when you go up here. When you go up here. Oh, you're going to go there first at the very least. That's good. Whoops. That had such whoops energy on that pull from the workers and the carbon there as well. Oh, it's like, drop everything and build this nursery. In you go. So I do wonder, it's... Oh, that's not the right thing. That's not the right thing either. God damn. Where are we at? 131 food. Yeah, I think that's pretty substantial. Most of that is the nerfs, really. And he's only got 2 on food. Oh no, he's got 5. Okay. He did lure these. I think it's mostly nerfs though, the difference. Because Soup was pretty quick on these as well, like munching them. He's always been eating the massives. So I thought maybe he'd be a little bit more even. And then just later on, you know, because of the longer time that he's had the nerfs, it would be showing the difference. But no, it's already showing that he's so much food behind. So that's not good. Getting housed here as well. This game is just not going well. This should have been a really nice mounty game for him. Hitting Geos. Kind of games that I would expect him to be like taken from Parappa as well, when he can like mounty with a nice differential like that. Because Parappa's not like the best against it. He kind of just, he doesn't even really seem to do it back or anything, he just sort of walls. I think there's a lot of opportunity to pick him apart during that. You could see like at the start of the last game he didn't seem that comfortable. Because that's just not how he wants his base to look. But once he gets into like T3, T4, his economy is, because he builds that big strong, he's got that AoE 2-player like core of farms, you know, in the middle of his base, it's just powering everything. With 5 mounties queued up. 5. Yeah, he's a bit late on that. I think he's like a minute late on his mounties. No power core. Soup can totally afford. I thought I was looking at Parappa as he go there, but Parappa on the way to T2 already. Soup is having a nightmare here. Parappa sees everything too. I mean, you see this and you know it's Geos. He's already got his walls down. Like, we haven't even paid attention to Parappa's base this game, but he's almost like fully walled as well. It's quite a nice wall this game. You get a lot of land. A lot of nice carbon, unharassable. Big gains here. Mounties are out. 3 of them out now. Parappa's just going to start putting walls behind this. He doesn't need to do this for too long. Although, has he not got a troop center? What's he up to this game? Is he just going to keep walling? Go for T3. That is dangerous, to be honest. I know that Soup's late to doing this, but this could really ramp up. Kind of sad to see that he's not on Nova. He should have just kept going Mounties and just keep building them and building them. And then had two groups hitting two sides of walls at the same time until he finds a way in. I'm thinking Parappa's just going to try and T3, but I don't see any tank buildings yet. Oh, he's getting in here. He needs to put prefab here. Right, he's just going to the next wall. Go, 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 go! What are you doing that you're so busy with? Because these guys are idle. Ah, keep going for the walls. Giving up too quickly. Is he going down to the bottom? What's Parappa up to? He's just playing to build walls this game. He's going to get in here because he's got nothing in range to build. Go for Mag Factory. This is why I think Soup should have just kept making Mounties, man. Because he could be like coming in here with like 3 times this amount, and that's just complete death. This is still like survivable. With like a turret or something. It's going to be painful though, for sure. Parappa no spaceport yet. I'm going to get knocked off his carbon. Building a turret out here isolated, the Mounties could just kill this. I did build a troop centre. That guy way out of position though. I don't think Soup needs to go for the power core so much here. I think he just needs to cause economic damage, and I hope he doesn't tunnel on this. Because I think he's just going to lose them all trying to do that. He should just keep zoning all these workers. He's going to kill this turret. Keep all these guys idle and just focus on his T3 at home. Because they're pretty close in terms of getting to T3. You see there's 3 troopers out now here. Keep causing problems. If you had way more Mounties, you could just go for everything, right? So Soup's on the way to T3 now, so he's ahead. That's all that matters. But he just needs to go into like double airbase or geos or something. Geos would be pretty good here. I would like that a lot. Man, imagine a geo just flying in there right now. Many dead workers. Enjoyable. So, see, double airbase, like all these crazy walls, man. Like, just forget about strike max. It's just not happening. Parappa's still not hit the button, eh? He doesn't have a spaceport or something. I don't know. There he goes. He's got enough now. Just needs a second building. T3 begun. And we're in the quiet period where nothing happens because both players are going to T3. One has reached T3, but still nothing's happening. He's on the ore though. Maybe he's going to make my dreams come true, just not quick enough. This is way late. It's too late. Sell some food and buy things or something, come on. Soup, this is too slow. Sell the food and buy ore. Just slam the fort. Go, go. The quicker you do it, the more damage you get. It's like exponential levels of damage. I'm kind of surprised at Parappa here. Like, for someone that builds walls all the time, air should be like the #1 thing that he sees, like come and harass him. And he's not, like, his opponent's T3 and he's not built any anti-air troopers. I would have thought he'd be building them just proactively. Because reasonably, he should have been hit by about 4 fighters by now. And you don't want to just build out of 1 troop centre anti-air troopers against 4 fighters. You want to have them beforehand. So he's going to lean on his air bases and his turrets, but it's just kind of silly greedy, I don't know. So I'm going to have the fortress, going to make the geos, but there's going to be air out here and turrets for Parappa. It's kind of just too late to find any damage, I feel. You need to have that fort like as soon as he hits T3. It's like the big perk of geos, man. They build things quicker as well, so they just get the fort up quicker. He flies in here, kills a worker, but he's going to see there's a turret and he nips out of there. Pretty impressive he killed a worker without taking any turret shots though. But Parappa is hunting for him and going to find him quite quick, and yeah, damn. Absolute damn. Shot out of the sky, and now, I mean, Parappa could put the heart on Soup in the counter here. It's a little bit tricky to defend air this early off of playing geos, because you wanna keep your opponent's air in their base with your geos for a while. That way you can cut some corners, get to like 3cc, get heavy weapons factory or something, and you maybe want to be like fortress and maybe 1 turret, and then use your aeromobiles to sort of cover the rest, rather than just like turret, 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 turret. Alternatively, you could play like some sort of big geo air now, since they get shields. So you could go geos into double air base as well, which could maybe be quite cool. And then use them as leverage to sort of defend the rest of your base as an alternative. But not wrong about going with a heavy weapons factory and the aeromobiles, because very heavy weapons factory-esque civ. Nice to have those ahead of time, that production. Get some aeromobiles out to push onto the map, get forward down, and get cracking with your artillery. It's kind of passive here. Like, Parappa's not really found any angles to do the damage. He's a lot of proactive, like, garrisoning here from Soup, just in case. Maybe too much. He's kind of doing the damage to himself. Got the aeromobile out, that's nice. But I just feel pressure to build turrets everywhere as well. I think he built the fort in like a great spot. I'm gonna kill off that sentry post here. I guess both players can just play for what they want here, just focus on their ecos. Soup's struggling a little bit with his farms, a lot of idle workers. There's a lot of people like just running back and forth from spots to spots. Like, look at that, just as I say that, they're like, oh, well, where are they going? Like, back to here, back to the farms, back to carbon, back over here now. I mean, this guy, he's just given up. He was once a farmer, and now he's just standing there. He's stopping this guy from doing his job. And then this guy's like, no, you're not coming out the right-hand side there. Absolute traffic jam. It's all because of this guy. He's just given up on everything. He's just standing there. The farmer, who was abandoned. He was run out of his farm, out of his land. And a lot of air built up for Parappa. Building the wall off here. Is he going to go command center out the front or something? Or well, he's popping out a Night Sister Initiate. Maybe we're going to grab up some of those holocrons for that passive Nova income. So what would we like to see from each player here? Well, with Geos, I think probably want to just see Fast Fighter, to be honest, really. He's not really set himself up in the mid-game for that, though, so I guess maybe try and get a... It's tricky, because there's all this air out here for the Zan player. And the Zan player you probably want to see go into like mech and strike mech early. A bit topsy-turvy, I guess. You know, I wouldn't mind just straight rallying artillery, I guess. The A-mobiles. Maybe like a couple of troopers with them or something. The Geos maybe, if some Mounties go for them. Just need to get like a little makeshifted unit. He just needs to get a forward down somewhere and be quite strong when he hits T4. If he's not going to go into air. I think ideally with Geos you probably want to go like the fast fighters for a bit. And then into whatever else. You go shielded Geos, I guess, if you're absolutely dominating. And you're memeing. Good on the troopers as well. Troopers would be nice to slide in. Tend to forget, you get the free armor now as well, don't you, with the Geos? I suppose the most basic streamlined approach is just air mountie. You're getting all your armor upgrades for your mounties for free. They've got a lot of options as a civ though. They've got pretty good mechs as well. But we just need to see some sort of force wander across. Try and get forward. Again, I don't even know if this is enough though, because like there's so many fighters. Like with this, I guarantee you, if you give me these fight, I'd kill all these workers. I'd probably kill all of this to be honest, with not too many losses. I think these guys are just going to die like on the first volley. Really, there's just so many fighters. He's lucky he doesn't notice him though. He's got that build speed bonus with Geos. Be nice if he gets this set up though, because I mean the air are not going to do too much to that. And that'll stop Parappa maybe want to play Zan the way he wants to, which would probably just be rallying strikes and stuff. Parappa must be on his way to T4, yeah, just started. Well, surprise. Tries to build more infrastructure here, and you're going to notice there's a fortress just finished right there. Up it goes. That's annoying. And he's going to come in here and maybe try and kill some workers somewhere, or feels compelled, but again, he's hesitant. Cancels all those buildings there, and I'm going to have to build them up here. It's going to be an awkward choke for him because of the Star Destroyer here. Can you wall to this thing? I wonder. It'd be nice to like wall to here if you can. Even if you can't close it out entirely, it'd be nice to just like limit it. You know, make people go through a single file passage where you've got an AC at the bottom. Some sort of RimWorld kill box gameplay. And I hope Soup's on his way now. Yeah. Are you neck and neck with him? Just about. That's good. Troopers popping out. They get that armor, which is nice. But not heavy or anything. He needs to get some Grens, I think. Some Grens is the way. There they are. This fighter's going to feel a little bit useless. He's probably just be raiding with him or something. I guess at the moment they'll stop any like troopers running right up onto his mechs just now, but I mean he's not going to be able to get any shields for them. He's losing some of them because he's not paying attention. I'm probably doing him a favour. He needs the population room. You need to see shield generators from both of these players, I think. The shield's going to be absolute insane value for the troopers because there's so many of them, so if you get to double all those units' health, it's crazy. Again, make them so much more tankier against the air's DPS as well, because they are very brittle. So just a few AA shots and they'll die. Cannon gonna get into a good spot, but I think he could go for it. I don't think he needs to sit by and watch that cannon kill his fortress. No chance. Just get this bounty hunter forward. All these MDs, they do like no damage to bounty hunters now. Kills that off there. He takes the trade. I don't think he needs to keep taking the trade though. Again, I think he needs a shield to fight this like outright, like that. But then another cannon. Unfortunately, there's a lot there, and then another cannon just comes over, and it's like, oh well, nothing's changed, other than he's got less units to play with. I think you need to keep that core units alive. Get the artillery out. It looks like Parappa's even going to be beating him to the punch, getting artillery out here. An AC would be good, but it would probably die quite quickly with the fighters. Even one shot though would actually be quite nice. A lot of strikes, a lot of fighters. There's not much opportunity for the Geo Mounties, unfortunately. And Fortress is going to go down here. There's so much units out for Parappa's just sort of boomed up, and you know, he's got his production down. He's just pumping out the units. He's pretty comfortable at this point in the game. Soup's still just he's a bit rattled. Only 109 workers. Parappa, on the other hand, 133. See if there's anything, any discrepancies. That's not good. Neither player is getting a lot of their upgrades here. It does have diligence. It doesn't have his carbon upgrade though, and his armor. And it's a massive force from Parappa now. Just not taking any losses. It's really building up. What are you going to do here? Honestly, the answer is actually like probably like attackers or something from Geos. You just can't go mounties. You can't go troopers into this. You can't go mounties. Hard to go mech. Assault mechs maybe. Assault mechs, attackers, ACs. This thing's a big area of effect. In the attacker's case, it's just that there's not really a lot of like anti-air. And they've got great damage. You've got shields. I just don't think Soup's got the time to get any of that set up, and yeah, he's going to call GG there, and that'll be the end of it. So GG, well played to both players there. I hope you've enjoyed the content. If you do, please consider liking the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to get involved with these types of games. You'll find our GBG server in the description field, the link for that. There'll be one for the Expanding Fronts mod server. This is the mod that we're playing here for GBG. You find a link to Voobly.com where you can play this game online. If you want to support the channel another way, maybe buy me a coffee. There's a link down below for donations, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.